So the first lie you've been told is that you need to have goals in every area of your life. Or you could spread yourself thinner than cheap margarine on white bread. How's that working out for you? If you're anything like me, you've got all these different goals, and because everybody tells you have to have goals in all of these different areas of your life. Your spiritual, your life, your personal life, your business, your money, your kids, your relationships. Oh my goodness, we're supposed to be achieving in every area. Or, hear me out, we could just focus on one goal at a time, whilst not letting everything else slip, but we're not actively trying to improve in those areas. We're just picking the most important thing to us right now. The most important thing for now. Magic words, those, for now. I did a video on that, so I'll link below to that on just using those two words, for now, reduces so much anxiety, it really does. If you've got a goal that you're working on for now, that's your priority. Now, that doesn't mean that, for example, if you're working on your business, that you have a bit of a health crisis and you end up having to then look after your health. That will then become your priority. However, for now, you're not trying to improve all these different areas at once, because so far that has not been working out very well for us, has it? So we're going to pick just one goal. That's what's been working for me. I've picked on one priority goal, which for me right now is buying my house. So that's what I'm working on. That doesn't mean that I'm letting my health go, I'm letting my relationships go, but at the same time, I'm not actively trying to improve in those areas right now, because I can only focus on one thing at a time if I want to make any real strides. So for me, that was an absolute lie. Trying to improve in all these different areas at the same time was exhausting. And the whole point of this channel is that we are trying to build lives we like whilst not burning out doing it. And to me, that was just burnout. So that's the first lie, and that's the first solution. The second lie that you've been told is that it's all about willpower, discipline, and if you're not achieving, it's because you're not disciplined enough, you lazy slob. Or you might only have a certain amount of points every day to deal with absolutely everything that you've got in your life. For example, you might have a really busy packed day with meetings and stuff like that, which means you're going to have a lot less to put towards other goals, to be a good friend. How many times have you had a really busy day at work and you're then expected to go out to this massive social event and you're just like, I don't know how I'm going to do it? It's because you're out of points. I've heard it described in the ADHD community as spoons. You've only got a certain amount of spoons. Why they pick spoons, I don't know. Points. You've only got a certain amount of points to go around. And if you're trying to spread yourself thin on all these different goals and you're trying to power through when you're out of points, it's no wonder you feel like shit, love. It really isn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to be a little bit more mindful of how many points we've got and when those points are. Because if you're anything like me, I do my best work at certain times. For me, I know it's kind of mid-morning till mid-afternoon. A lunchtimey span is when I really come up to speed. First thing in the morning, I am a fucking goblin. Last thing at night, don't expect me to do anything apart from maybe a bit of crafting in front of the TV with a glass of wine. If there's work to be done, tough shit, because it ain't going to come from my brain. So I found that working with my own natural tendencies really helped, because I wasn't feeling guilty that I was trying to shoehorn everything into like start first thing in the morning, when I know that my brain is like the inside of a friggin' hiking sock. It's just not okay until I've had a coffee, I've got up to speed, and then I'm away. But I was finding that anything I did first thing in the morning, if I had to sit down and force myself, I was having to redo it all anyway at some point, or it was just so piss poor it wasn't worth doing. So now I schedule stuff in first thing in the morning that does not require a lot of brain power, stuff that I know that I don't need to particularly concentrate on. And then once 7 o'clock-ish rolls around, that's when I tend to do the stuff that requires braining, because I know that my brain is now kind of like, okay, we've had our coffee, we're kicked in, let's go. And again, I don't do anything at night unless I really have to, because again, I know I'm going to be useless. There's no point. So I reserve that time for things like hobbies that I want to do, reading fiction books, because again, my brain during the day is different to my brain at night. So I found that working with that really, really helped. And hopefully that's a tip that you can take and you can work in for yourself as well. Be mindful of how many points you've got and be mindful when you're working, because willpower is not an infinite resource. Your brain actually takes quite a lot of energy to run. And we'll come to that in a second. But if you're trying to force this engine to keep revving when it's stone cold, it's not going to work out for you very well. So the third lie that you've been told, that you probably bought into, is that multitasking is a superpower and it's a flex and it's awesome. I can do all these different things at once. Look at me with my plate spinning. It's not the flex you think it is, love. Like I said, your brain takes a lot of energy to work. And every time you switch, because you're not doing things all at the same time, you're actually switching between tasks. You're just doing it really, really quickly. So you're switching, going from tab to tab on your browser. You're not looking at them all at the same time. You're switching between them. Unless you are looking at them all in the same time, in which case you're a psychopath and you need help. You need to remember that you're switching. And each switch, it's like revving the engine of your car. Every time you're switching task, you're revving your brain. Now that takes physical energy. That's why if you've had a day where you're doing a lot all at once, you're physically exhausted because your brain actually takes energy, takes calories to run. And weird as it sounds, we do forget that our brain takes energy to run. It's not sitting there powered by friggin' fairy dust. So if you're switching tasks all the time, you're taking up a lot more energy. And even if you feel like you can adequately switch tasks quickly, there's a portion of time when you've lost your focus and you've essentially got to get back up to speed again. Now, for you, it might feel like it's almost instantaneous, but some people have a harder time with it. But even if it is only a couple of minutes where you switched a task and you need a couple of minutes to get up to speed on the new task, if you're doing that 15 times a day, that's a good hour or so at least of time that you've wasted just kind of going, okay, I'm good to go. So you need to be aware of this. So when you're scheduling things, what I found works for me is to time block and to sort of theme my days. So I know that like Mondays, it's usually a video day. So I'm filming. So I usually have to make sure I'm all gussied up. Not today. Unfortunately, you don't get to see me gussied up today. I'm just as I am today. But I know that that's my filming day. So that's my main task, or scripting. So that's my main task. I haven't scripted today's video, as you can probably tell. Let me know, because you've seen some of my videos probably where I've scripted. This one I'm just coming in it with bullet points, and I'm already on take 4, so I think I'm going to go back to scripting. But that's okay, because as you know from my channel, guys, I am a big fan of it's all just a big experiment. Life is just one big experiment, and we're just here just winging it. We're all just winging it. Even if we look put together, we're all just winging it. Remember that. So it's all just an experiment, and it's one that obviously is not working for me because I'm a blathering idiot when I don't have my script. I don't know, you might prefer it, let me know. But when you're switching tasks, it does take you a second. So time blocking is a thing that's really helped me. Just having those blocks of time where I put my phone on to do not disturb and I just kind of work on one task, not 6, one thing. Now, you're seeing a theme here, aren't you? We've got the one goal, the one task, it's all the one ring. Am I Bilbo or am I Gollum? I have a horrible feeling I'm Gollum. Precious! So the last lie that you'd be told, number 4, you have been told that the to-do list is all powerful and all the things on it must be done. Now, I love a good list, same as anybody. I love a good list. I have lists of lists. My kids will tell you that I have notebooks full of lists and they have indexes. You do. I'm sad, but I don't care. But a to-do list, something that I've noticed is that 80% of my results will come from about 20% of things that I actually do. You've probably heard this before, the Pareto principle. It was an economist who saw that 80% of his peas were coming from 20% of his plants. And he realised that was the same in the economy. 80% of the profits were coming from 20% of the shares. 20% of the businesses generate 80% of the gross national product. That kind of thing. And it seems to happen, you'll probably have seen it before in your own life, that the majority of your results or your majority of something will come from 20% of it. So if you've got 10 things on your to-do list for today, you'll probably only get results from 2 of those things. And that's crazy if you think about it. We've got all these tasks and we're burning out thinking we have to do all these things. And in fact, you could get away with just 2 and you'd get the same result. So something that helped me was I went through my to-do list, and I keep all my lists, obviously, because they're all in diaries and everything. And I was looking through and I was like, so where did this result come from? And again, I was looking through and I was like, well, there was only 2 or 3 of those things that I did that I actually got results from. So then I can start honing in on the things that I do that actually create the results. I can start stripping away the stuff that whilst it might be good to do, it might be handy to do, it might be fun to do, it wasn't the things that brought in the results that I was looking for. So I can then shift those two things up to the top of the list and go, look, if nothing else gets done, those things. The other thing that helped me out was, instead of having a daily to-do list, I actually now have a weekly. So I have a weekly list of things that I want to get done. And then I do sit down with my diary. And again, I've got other videos on my channel about this, so go check them out if you like, about how I would go, oh, Monday. I know that Monday's a scripting day, so I do want to do my script, etc. So that's one of the things that I know is a 20% thing. So I'm going to sit down and do my script. But however, what happens if Monday, it's my kid's sports day? I don't want to feel like, oh my God, that thing was a Monday thing. It needs to have been done on Monday. I'm failing. If I've got a weekly list, as long as it gets done between Monday and Sunday, I'm golden. There are some things that can't be moved. However, that's what I found really helps me. It takes that anxiety away. Just having a weekly list instead of a daily means that I can have these themed days, if you like, where day one, Mondays is a scripting day. So I'm not trying to fit in editing. I'm not trying to fit in that and the other. Mondays is my scripting and usually a bit of filming. So that's what I get done. And then I'm not switching all the time, and I'm making sure that I'm really focused. So that there you go. My to-do list is now really a weekly list rather than a daily to-do list, and I'm time blocking. So for me, the best and the most productive way I could use my week is that I'm working on one goal at one time. I'm blocking my tasks into teams, and I'm blocking my time. So I'm not trying to do 17 different things at once. I'm doing it in times that I know that I need to produce good work during the lunchtime, so I'm doing my other things first that don't really require braining, so I can devote that middle of the day where I'm good to those things that require my brain power. And you know what? It's really helped. I've noticed that I'm a lot more on it, and I'm getting better results by doing that. So if you want more results like that, this is what YouTube reckon you need to watch next.